I have decided that at age 28, I want to learn about makeup. I've realized I've done the same thing pretty much for years, and there's just so many other like methods and techniques that I'm not aware of, that I've never tried, that what if I like that better? What if that's more flattering on me and I'm just completely unaware it exists? So I'm personally on a mission to try out new techniques and to learn. The way I'm starting to learn is by following some tutorials as just a girl, not a pro, to see A, if these tutorials are helpful, and B, what I can learn from them. So to start today, I decided just to go to TikTok and type in 2025 makeup tutorial. The top thing that popped up for me has almost 5 million views. This is by a creator called Juju B, and this is summer 2025 bridal makeup. So we're starting off on like glam. I did pick up some of the things that she mentions because they seem essential, and I do want to play with some new products, but I got a fraction of the things because I'm pretty sure if you were to add up every single thing she used in this video, it would be well over $1,000. And your girl's not trying to do that. But I did a couple key things like the foundations or a similar blush or one makeup brush that she seems to use a lot are things I got. Oh, and a setting powder, things like that. So yet again, I'm just a girl, okay? I'm just a girl. Let's see what we can do. Let's get into it.
Okay, we are kicking things off with skin prep. This is the most important part of the entire routine to get right. Less is more here. Skip the serums, they're gonna make your makeup pill. Skip the sunscreen if you can. It will cause flashback in your photos. Yes, even the sunscreens without a white cast.
Okay, to start, she says skip the sunscreen, skip the serums. She does use one thing to prep her skin. I just did a very, very, very basic moisturizer underneath, something that I know doesn't usually pill for me. I will wear sunscreen on normal days, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I skipped the sunscreen. And then primer. This is something I never use. I never use a primer. She gave a few options. I got the cheapest one of her options. This is Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Basically, it's just like it almost looks like a gel.
Focus the majority of the product primarily on your T-zone areas. This is where we typically tend to sweat a little bit more and we'll need a little bit more grip for the makeup.
It kind of feels like putting hair gel on your face. I'm gonna put it everywhere, but focus it in the T-zone. Then she said the most important thing is to make sure it is fully dry before you do anything else. She has this little fan. I'm just gonna air it out and wait some time. And I'm interested to see if that makes a difference or not for the wear throughout the day. I do feel like so many times by the end of the day, my foundation, especially like around my lower cheeks, is gone. And I don't know if I just touch my face a lot or what. So this is fully dry. Next step is foundation. Now she used a specific foundation brush. I only bought 2 brushes from her whole haul. Brushes are so expensive. So one that I bought was this Makeup by Mario. It's called the F4 brush. Sounds like a sports car, but okay. The second one I got was this powder brush from Sephora. This is a lot like lighter and fluffier, so I'm trying to decide. I always apply foundation with my fingers. I feel like you can like blend it, your fingers are warm, but I'm gonna try her method. I kind of almost feel like this side of the Makeup by Mario looks the most like the one that she's using, but then she uses this brush for so many other things in this video. So I'm like, am I gonna be overusing this? I don't know, but let's try it. She does use 2 different foundations. I decided that's so basic and like integral to the makeup look that I'll try it, I'll buy it. Shade matching intimidates me. I normally self-tan. I actually just recently got some tattoos, so I can't for a while. So I'm waiting until I can self-tan again. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna match these colors right now, but like most of the time I will. But she mixes 2 things. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. She says that this is like very lightweight, looks very natural, which is very my speed. But she blends it with this Dior Backstage. Apparently this is a face and body foundation. She said this makes it way more long wear. So as you can see, these are like definitely darker than me. This one I feel like might look fine with my current skin tone, but I'm gonna do what she does. She blends both onto the back of her hand. She just says a couple pumps of each, but man, that just feels like a lot. I guess I'll use this brush. I just feel like brushes waste so much product, no? I mean, maybe I'm wrong because every makeup pro uses a brush. Oh, I see why she went in with so much. It kind of just sopped all that up. Guess we'll do more then. I'll definitely need to wash this brush between uses for this look. Okay, so she starts in her center of her face. Oh my gosh, this is so full coverage. Questions everything, regrets everything. Okay, trust the process. And she blends this outward for a, quote, more natural look. Natural, okay. But like, you see the streaks that this is leaving behind? I look like a kid playing with her mom's makeup. Trusting the process, trusting the process.
Don't forget to blend the foundation up through your ear, into your hairline, and down your neck so that you don't look like a floating head. We want everything to look cohesive. I like to then go in with a damp beauty blender and lightly tap, no swiping.
Thank gosh she goes in with the damp beauty blender later, because I feel like this really needs that right now. Beauty blender to the rescue. This is already damp. Oh, she says tap, don't sweep. Don't swipe, sweep, swoop.
No swiping.
That's fixing a multitude of sins. I really feel like fingers and beauty blenders work so much better for cream products, but what do I know? This is already a lot more mattifying than I'm used to my skin looking. I use a lot of like very glowy skin tint, skin serums. I use like a glow-based sunscreen usually. I use this every single day. So I'm used to seeing like a lot of just reflectiveness on my skin, but something about seeing it matte is kind of nice. I almost wonder if the skin trends are gonna go back to a little more matte. Just for my own sake, I'm going to put a little clear gloss on my lips because foundation lips kind of give me the ick. I'm gonna just use my own Typology clear lip gloss. Okay, onward.
Now we're gonna contour and sculpt the face using the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick in the shade Shadow. Whatever product you're using to contour your face should be cool toned like this. We're gonna apply this right under the cheekbone, hugging it as closely to the cheekbone as possible without the product actually being on top of the cheekbone.
I did also get the contour sticks because I had never heard this before, but in her tutorial, she uses a cool tone to sculpt and then a warm tone contour to act as more of like a bronzer. Both of them are cream though. I went ahead and just got a cool tone contour stick, and she starts by going under the cheekbone all the way to the, oh gosh, that's darker than I expected. That's so pigmented. Okay. Oh, and then she goes along her nose. I'm just gonna try to go in with a light touch. Underneath the tip. Underneath the lip. Okay, this intimidates me. This is gonna give me a 5 o'clock shadow. She does some here. That's so intense. Okay, she uses the smaller side, which is great because I haven't used that yet. This is the brush that she's using. Blending slightly upwards is interesting. Okay, it does blend better than I thought it would. And she says blend really well into the hairline. Okay, wow. Yeah, that kind of went away. Blend upward. Okay, how does she blend the rest?
Blending this into your hairline as well. Taking that same smaller side of the Makeup by Mario F4 brush at the pointier end and using that to blend out the contour on the sides of my nose, the tip, under my lip. And then
She's going so fast. Okay, blend the sides of your nose, the tip, under the lip.
And then when it comes to the contour under the chin and under the jawline, we're going to blend that downwards. We don't want it coming up and being on the jawline, then you end up with these weird stripes all over your face.
Okay, so blend this downwards. Oh my gosh, did I do too much? I have been saying ever since I turned like 27, I feel like my jawline is leaving the chat. So if I can figure out a way to contour a jawline to be a bit stronger, down for that. I feel like it still looks pretty dramatic. Don't panic, trust the process. Trust the process, what's next?
Now I'm gonna take a warm tone shade of bronzer, like this one from Rare Beauty. I'm going to apply a generous amount of that to the larger, fluffier side of my Makeup by Mario F4 brush, dabbing off any excess onto my hand. This is also going to help warm the product up so that when you apply it to your skin, it blends out seamlessly. With that warmer tone of bronzer, we're going to place that in all the areas that the sun would naturally hit my face if I was just hanging out outside.
Okay, so she applies the warm contour to the fluffy side of her Makeup by Mario brush, and I kind of feel like there's no foundation really left in this. So her brush actually looks like it has some foundation in it too. She puts this straight onto the brush. How do I know how much is on there? And then dabs it onto her hand. Oh yeah, okay. So everywhere the sun hits, your cheeks, your perimeter of your forehead. Yeah, I feel like that's adding some life to my face. Blends up into her hairline. Wow. When I look at this, I have so many more colors going on than when I look at my mirror. I have the urge to use my beauty blender, just like the foundation, and to like blend. I'm gonna follow my urge there and try to just even more naturally blend this out. And the next step is concealer. She takes one that is a very, very, very light concealer, like almost white, called Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. And apparently it's a brightener that she uses under a normal concealer. I did not buy this because I recently got something from Kosas. It was just PR that I think is essentially supposed to be the same thing because they have like a revealer and a concealer or something like that. Like one is a brightener, and I need to find where I put that. It might be downstairs. So I'm gonna go on a little hunt for that so that we can try the method that she uses. And these are the two shades I have. I kind of feel like I should just go with the even lighter one. This is the Revealer Extra Bright. And yet again, she puts the product on the back of her hand. This is like super pink, but I am very pink undertone, so hopefully this works. So she puts it on the back of her hand. She uses her concealer brush, loads it up with product, and then I'm gonna watch how she applies it as I do it.
By applying the smallest amount of product down kind of next to my nose, and then slowly blending upwards, up under the eye, purposely avoiding the area like directly under the lower lash line. I like to bring a little bit of concealer on the side of my nose, again up under my eye, and then whatever is left over on that brush, apply up and out at the outer corner to help lift the face. At this point, if you feel like you need more brightness or more coverage, go in with more product, but always start with as little product as you possibly can, as you can always add more, but it's really hard to take it away once you've added it.
So I was doing one eye with her as she did it, but she started here, like not under the eye, kind of more next to the nose, blended it up, over, out, and lifted it, and that's supposed to like kind of help lift your face. Wow. Trusting the process, trusting the process. I feel like I have just so many different colors on my face right now. I wonder if I carried it too far up my nose to where I contoured. Oops. Okay, friend. Tell me what's next.
Whatever is left over on that brush from there, and lightly apply across your eyelids to neutralize any discoloration and also serve as an eyeshadow base. Okay, I know we look a little crazy right now. Trust the process.
Yeah, we do look a little crazy right now.
We're then gonna take a concealer that's a little bit closer to our actual skin color.
I usually use Kosas as well, but wait, I have a darker foundation on than usual too. I actually might have this in another shade. Found this. Don't know how old it is, but it's definitely a lot darker. This is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Maybe I can kind of mix these together, honestly, and create like a little bit more of a custom shade. I don't know. Let's see what happens here.
And we're gonna go in and just very lightly place that directly under the contour that we placed earlier. It's okay if you're seeing some harsh lines here. We're gonna go in and fix that after. But this is gonna make your cheekbones pop even more and make your entire face look even more snatched. If you tend to get some redness around your nose or around your nostril area, take whatever is left after that, just gently buff that into those areas.
I do feel like I look crazy. But then she goes in with this fluffy brush and blends this out. Big side for under the eyes, which feels counterintuitive, and then small side for under the cheekbone. Okay. Tapping motions, she says. There is a lot of product on my face right now.
Colors laid down. I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Collection number 19 Pro Crease Brush, a little bit more of the Rare Beauty bronzer. And I'm gonna apply that product to the sides of my nose, up through my crease. And this is gonna help just tie everything back together.
So, I honestly don't see a huge difference with this, but perhaps you do. Nose and up through the crease. Okay, blush time. So she used a certain brand of blush, but she bought 2 colors and blended her own. I thought, I'm not gonna pay for that twice. So I just bought a color that I liked once. The Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush. I got it in the shade Vision. It looks just like a very warm pink. The ones she used were like much more true pink and then like a kind of nudie pink that she mixed together. She puts this on the back of her hand. How do you squeeze this thing? This is not like squeezable. Is it the bottom? Oh, it's the bottom. Ah, it's so drippy. It's so drippy. Okay, so she blends this out onto her hand and then applies it to the apple of her cheek. So she does that on both sides. I will say, perhaps it's her lighting, but she is looking a lot dewier than I am. I'm looking very matte. Wow, okay, yeah. I don't know if it's because I'm putting this in a brush that I feel like the product is just going so fast, but I feel like it is. Then she uses a damp beauty blender and taps it up and blends it with the under eye as well. At least my order of events, I think, is usually correct. Actually no. I think I normally do concealer before my contour. And did we just do contour before my concealer? Okay, she used something that I also just got sent. This is the Kosas Cloud Set, which I never knew exactly what this was for because it is so pink. So look, it's not even used. So I'm glad to know how to use this. Okay, she took a lot of this, got the extra off on her hand, and then used this to set the under eye concealer. But this is like so pink. I'm so surprised. Then she uses a fluffy brush, and I did get the setting powder that she used, but I got the mini size. She sets her T-zone here, chin, and the concealer down here. She says she recommends the mini version for touch-ups, but I only got the mini version.
Now I'm going to take a little bit of the MAC powdered bronzer in the shade Give Me Sun on the back of my Sephora Collection Pros number 79 brush.
Okay, so I don't have either of those things. This is where I really started to not buy the things that she was using because I'm like, I have bronzer, I have eyeshadow. So she uses a smaller kind of fluffy brush with some bronzer, and she uses a powder bronzer over her cream bronzer. So I'm gonna just use, I have the Kosas, I'll link it. I'll link all these things, by the way. And then I'm using not as fluffy of a brush, but similar shape to what she's using. And I will just follow where we did the cream bronzer. A lot of powders do intimidate me. Like, after a certain amount, don't you always look cakey? Then she does the same thing with a powder blush, which I also did not buy because I know I have one somewhere. Let me go find one. Okay, one that I found, this is the Rare Beauty powder blush in the shade Joy. This is kind of a bronzy blush yet again, where hers is super pink, but she uses a different brush yet again, and I don't really have any that is in the shape of hers. I might just use the same one that we just used for the bronzer. And she does this and taps off and does it across her cheeks and the bridge of her nose. Good thing I have no other plans today, so if this looks crazy, no one except for all of the internet is gonna see it. When I look at the viewfinder, I look so much crazier than in the mirror. I'm gonna follow my heart yet again and just beauty blender. Okay, on to brows. I am just going to use my brow pencil, which is the Kosas Brow Pop. She's using Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil, which I had tried that once upon a time, but I don't think I have it.
For brows, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil in the shade Soft Brown. First, using the brush side to comb up the hairs. This makes it really easy to see any sparse areas that may exist in the brow. Using the pencil side, I like to start by drawing just kind of a straight line from the lower corner of the inner brow out towards the end. And then from there, with a really light hand, I like to just go in and lightly fill in any of those areas.
Okay, something interesting that she does different from me is first, I've been lately setting my brows before I fill them. I feel like I use less product that way. But another thing I do is I like to actually line the top of my brow and then fill in from the bottom. I feel like it makes it look more natural, but she lines the bottom of her brow and fills it in going up, which I just feel like when the bottom of your brow is a really harsh line, it doesn't look as natural. You know what I mean? I kind of want to show y'all each eyebrow each way, and then you tell me what you think looks better on me. So my way is this, but I'm so used to doing this when my brows are already set. I can't see what I'm doing when they aren't set. And then her way is this. Can you even see a difference? I just feel like this looks more natural to not have the bottom be so harsh, whereas this is like a lot harsher. So now they don't match, but whatever. Okay, then she sets it with a brow gel. She also uses Anastasia Beverly Hills, but a different type. I have the Brow Freeze, and she used whatever's in the silver one. This is what I use every day, lately, because I like that it dries, and it literally does not move once it dries.
For eyes, we're going to use the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions palette, taking this white shade with my Makeup by Mario E5 brush, lightly patting that to the inner corner. This will make you look so much more awake. Then taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush in the shade right above that and applying that all over the lid, create a neutral base for blending.
I just figured she's using a neutral palette. I already have a neutral palette that I use almost every single day. The only thing that's not really in here is not like a white like her. She's using a Makeup by Mario. I'm gonna use this Tarte palette that is clearly very loved. She does the lightest in the corner and then the next lightest beyond that all over the lid.
This warmer tone transition shade here. If you're cooler tone, you can use the one right below it. And applying that to the outer corner of the lid, almost drawing like a small arrow pointing towards your ear. Taking as long as it takes to really blend that product in, bringing whatever is left on the brush through the crease, and connecting at the bridge of the nose.
Then she takes a transitional shade and she draws an arrow here. This brush is a lot bulkier than the one that she's using, but I'm hoping I can get away with it. Just using the same brush for all of these.
I'm gonna take the slightly deeper tone right next to it. And if you have a cooler tone, you can use the one right underneath, tapping off the excess and lightly applying that to the outer corner, avoiding bringing it through the crease this time. Taking a clean Makeup by Mario E5 brush and that same lighter transition shade we used earlier, tapping off the excess and swiping that across the lower lash line to create dimension. Taking that slightly deeper shade and doing the same exact thing. Now coating the end of my Sigma E54 brush with a generous amount of the lighter shade from the Patrick Ta Eye Duo in the shade Talk to My Team. Tapping off the excess, making sure that you're doing this especially well here as we don't want any loose glitter. With a very gentle hand, tapping, not swiping, that product all over the lid.
I might actually have some sparkles. Let me see what I got. These are what I found. These are literally so old that I'm sure they're expired. This shade is closest to what she's using, but it is shattered. So I'm like, do I go in with this like coppery shade? Or do I just try to make it work? Maybe I just try to make it work. Which brush should I use? She gets the glitter on the brush. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I got any sparkles, TBH. Should I try the coppery ones?
Taking the Wonderskin Longwear Gel Eyeliner in the shade Kalamata and applying that just to the outer corners of the upper lash line. Taking a small smudge brush to soften that out a little bit.
She uses a brown gel liner to line her eyes and then soften it. I did not get that, nor do I have a brown gel liner. But something I could do if I was feeling bold, I don't know if I want to try it though, is I could try to use like one of these dark shades and that and use it. I'm scared. I'm just gonna send it. Why not? I don't know, man.
Then gonna take the Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline Gel Pencil. This pencil is specifically for tight lining. We're gonna apply that to the upper waterline to make the lash line look fuller.
I did want to get this to try this because I've never tried tight lining my eyes before. I usually use a liquid gel eyeliner, which I know is so millennial core. I know that's so like circa 2012. But I wanted to see if I liked the act of tight lining. So this is apparently specifically made for tight lining. Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline Eye Pencil. She calls it a gel, but it really just looks like a pencil. She shouldn't even hold her eye up. She just goes straight in. I'm so scared. I'm gonna try holding my eye up. Will I smudge my makeup? The reason I use eyeliner at all is to make my lash line look fuller. And look, that looks like a fuller lash line than this, but without having the look of eyeliner. This might be something I carry on to my day-to-day. It's hard. Okay, we're gonna stop there. And then she goes in with her mascara, and this is just my favorite. This is what I have the most luck with. This is the Merit mascara. I have a few others that I found a little more recently that I actually do like, which is crazy because I'm picky, but this is still like my all-time favorite. So I'm gonna do my lashes, be right back. There's how we look after mascara. She uses individual little false eyelashes. I tried to find some and where I looked was sold out, so I'm just going without the false eyelashes today. And then similar but different, she does use a powder highlighter over her cheekbone. I really thought I had some, and I'm just now realizing that I don't, or I can't find it. So I'm gonna use my everyday, which this is almost out, so I have to use my finger. This is the Bounce Day Glow by Merit. And I'm just gonna put this where she puts hers. I felt like I needed some glow back in this look. Brow bone, inner corner, and then bridge of her nose. She has moved on to lips at this point. She does a whole liner, lipstick, gloss combo. Like I said, I'm just really only a gloss girl, but on special occasions, I do wear colored gloss. This is Topicals. I think this is their only colored option. I think they have two. They have a clear and a colored, so I'm just gonna put on a bit of this for a bit of color. Okay, then she does some body stuff, which we're skipping today, and she finishes with this. I've never seen this before. This is apparently a very intense setting spray. Is this Patrick Starr's brand? It's called One Size. It is waterproof. It's also mattifying, which at this point, I don't feel like I need any more mattifying, but she says, apply a very generous amount. Feels like hairspray. This feels wrong. Smells like hairspray. It can't be good for you. I swear I'm not trying to be dramatic. Ooh, wow. Whew. Okay, I think I breathed some in. Whew. And with that, here is the final makeup look. I learned a lot of good things already from just trying to follow one tutorial, such as the difference between a cool contour stick and a warm contour stick, the difference that tight lining your lashes makes, also the purpose of like a brightening concealer versus just a regular concealer was something I didn't know. A makeup primer, never tried that before. Obviously, this is not an everyday look. I just kind of wanted to try a more extreme look to see what I could learn from it. But next, I feel like maybe a no makeup, like clean girl, extra dewy kind of look would be fun. So if there's a specific makeup tutorial you want me to try and test out as just a girl to see how possible it is for us non-makeup artist people to actually achieve the look and try some of the products and try some of the techniques and see what works and fail and learn along the way, I would love to do, honestly, like a series of these. I would love to try a handful of different looks and just see what I can learn and see what I want to implement. Definitely implementing tight lining and different contour colors. And I'm excited to play around with these foundations a little bit more in like a lower quantity. I do feel pretty heavily made up right now, but that is kind of what you're supposed to feel on your wedding day a little bit, you know? I remember in my hair makeup trials for my wedding, they were like, you might look heavy in real life a little bit, but it will photograph very differently than it looks in real life, and it will look more natural in photographs, and they were right. So I trust the pros. Please comment down below if there's like a YouTube or a TikTok or an Instagram tutorial anywhere that you want me to try next. I'll commit to it. I love you guys. I hope you have the best rest of your day. Thank you to Jujubee on TikTok for creating this tutorial and making it very comprehensive. I will have her profile linked down below in this exact tutorial in case you want to follow it. And I will see you guys in another video very soon.